Hello, my name is Mike McKee, and today I'd like to talk a little bit about installing the Dell Compellant agent to collect for vFoglight Storage 3.0. vFog Storage 3.0 is a little bit different than prior versions. This storage agent will use port 3033 to communicate with Enterprise Manager, and this is the same port as Client Manager. It's more robust, a little bit faster, a little bit more reliable. You're going to need to install Compellant Enterprise Manager 6.3 or higher. And again, we still recommend not installing Enterprise Manager on the same server as the vFoglight. So install it on a different server than the agent you're going to be collecting with it. The installation steps are a little bit simpler. Go ahead and install Enterprise Manager. And I create a new ID with administrator permissions. I do that instead of using the existing ID. In case something goes wrong, you always have the existing administrator to fall back on. One of the general information tab in Enterprise Manager will give you a link to download Client Manager. It's already downloaded in Enterprise Manager, but for some reason they want you to download this as a link. So go ahead and download that and install it. Launch that with administrative credentials or what you created in step number 2. Go ahead and add your volumes in Client Manager to this ID. And then when you configure vFoglight to collect, you're going to use the ID, either the administrative ID or the ID that you created in 2. But the important thing is you need to make sure that the volumes are added to that credential. So let's go ahead and get started. So here we are on a server which is not the vFoglight vFoglight server. And we're going to go ahead and install the Compellant Enterprise Manager. What this will allow you to do is collect from the Dell Compellant arrays. vFoglight Storage will collect information from the Compellant Enterprise Manager, and the Compellant Enterprise Manager will be the one that goes out to the array and actually retrieves that information. A couple of requirements. We need you to install the Java runtime environment, and we recommend installing version 6. We've had some problems with version 7 and the Compellant Enterprise Manager, but 6 seems to be nice and stable. In addition to that, we require the .NET 3.5.1 install. Now on 2008, that is just a feature that you turn on right here. If you're running 2003 or something, it's a download you'll need to install. So I've already installed both of those requirements. Let's go ahead and install the Enterprise Manager. Okay, now that the Enterprise Manager has been installed, let's do a little bit of configuration. I'm just going to do a test case here. So I'm going to go ahead and use the local file system as a database. If you're going to be running with this on a long-term basis, I recommend that you install some other type of a database that's a little bit more robust. And it warns me about that. I don't have any kind of an activation key, so I'm just going to go ahead and use the 30-day embedded license. Now I'm going to enable SMIS because that is effectively the entire reason we're here. And let's go ahead and create an administrator. All right, next. All right, now it's going to allow us to log in with the credentials that you just created. Now, one thing you will notice is that this is going to create a service right here, and this service is what controls the SMIS application. All right, first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to create another user. I like to have a second user just in case something goes wrong or whatnot, and that way I've got a backup. And we'll go ahead and make that user an administrator. Excellent. Then we're going to go ahead and go back to the general information, and we are going to go to this website right here, and that'll allow us to get the next piece of the puzzle. All right, let's go ahead and paste that URL in there and continue to the website. You want to download the client installer, so let's go ahead and download that and just save that in the same directory. and then go ahead and run it. We don't need the web browser anymore. And that's all there is to installing it. Now let's go ahead and launch the client. And we're going to go ahead and log in with the same set of credentials that we created a little bit earlier, the SMIS ones. And of course you can create whatever set of credentials you want. And then we're going to go ahead and add a storage center here. Set the credentials. Okay, and the compellent's been added cleanly. Go ahead and minimize this. So here we are back in vFoglight, and we're going to go ahead and configure the Dell collections. So go to Storage Environment, and then come up to the Administration tab. And we're going to go ahead and add. I'm going to go ahead and put the collector there. Choose Storage Arrays and then the Dell Compellant. You're going to need to enter the IP address, and this is going to be the IP address of the manager we just configured. And then a name if you want. And we use the default port, so we don't need to worry about that. Excellent. So let's go ahead and verify our credentials here. And using the right credentials there. And go ahead and release it, the lockbox to the client. And let's go get our compellant. Excellent, and there it is. It's showing us the array that we just configured a few minutes ago. And if we had multiple arrays in here, it would allow us to choose which ones we'd like to collect from. And there we go, we're finished. And there is the Dell Compellent right there collecting for us. We can go into the agent properties, and you can see that we have our last validation is a current timestamp. And then when last topology collection and performance collections all become current, we're going to know that we are good to go here. Obviously we have the credentials here, which you can change if the need arises. And you have discovered targets, which are the ones that, the arrays that we have in there. And we are all done.